Good morning and good afternoon, kids. This is Teacher Gigi. How are you today? Before we start, can you please get your workbook and open it on page 25 and 26. Alright, so last week we have talked about separation techniques. Again, when we say separation techniques, these are the techniques we use to separate a mixture of solid and liquid. Okay, we have three types of how we can separate things. Separating a mixture of solid, separation by magnets, and separating insoluble solids from liquid. So, again, what is a mixture? Again, when we say mixture, a mixture is made up of two or more different substances mixed together. So, for example, we have carrots, corn, and beans, or water and soil, or rice and water. Okay, these are some examples of mixture. So, number one, let's talk about separating a mixture of solid. So, number one, we have hand picking. Again, when we say hand picking, basically you're going to use your hands. If the mixture has different size, shape, and color, and big enough to be held by your hands, you can use hand picking. So, for example, you want to separate toys, you want to separate vegetables, you want to separate your things. You can use hand picking. Next, sifting. Alright, so when we say sifting, you are going to separate solids of different sizes. Okay, you're going to separate big object from small object, just like rock and sand or crab or sand. That is sifting. Next, we have separation by magnets. When we say separation by magnets, it's the separation of mixture, one substance attracted to magnet and one substance that is not attracted to magnet. So for example, you want to separate sand and metal fillings. So you can use magnet to attract the metal fillings. Next, separating insoluble solids from liquids. Again, when we say insoluble, these are substances that do not dissolve. Okay, next. Number one, we have decantation. Again, when we say decantation, this technique is the separation of solid and liquid. So, for example, you're going to wash rice. When we say decantation, the solid goes down and the liquid stays at the top. Again, solid goes down and the liquid goes up, just like rice and water. Or another one, we have water and soil. The soil will go down and the water will stay at the top. That is decantation. Next, filtration. Again, filtration. Basically, when we say filtration, you are going to use a filter. So, for example, is coffee, pasta, or a matcha. So, you're going to filter to separate the solid from the liquid. That is filtration from the word filter. And the last one we have precipitation. Again, precipitation. So when we say precipitation, these are two liquids. You're going to mix two liquids, and then after a while, one substance becomes a solid. So for example is vinegar and milk. When you mix vinegar and milk together and you set it aside for a while, when you come back, you can see that the milk becomes solid. That is precipitation. Okay, so let's try to answer page 24 and 25. So basically, you're going to circle the letter of the correct answer. Okay, let's try to answer. Number 1. Which of the following statements about mixture is false? When we say false, not correct. Again, when we say false, it is not correct. Okay, so letter A. The substance of a mixture is usually separated. The substances in a mixture usually can be separated. Letter B. A mixture of solid. Okay. A mixture is made up of solid substances of the same size, shape, and color. Is it correct? Letter C. A mixture is made up of two or more different substances mixed together. And letter D, the substances in a mixture can be gases, liquids, or solid. Again, which is not correct? Which is not correct? The correct answer is letter. What is the correct answer? Letter. Very good. Letter B. Why? Because mixture can be solid and liquid. Very good. Next, number 2. Which of the following mixture can be best separated by hand picking? Okay, again, when we say hand picking, you can use your hand to separate substances that has different shape, colors, and size. So which do you think has different size, shape, and color? Letter A, sand and flour. Letter B, salt and pepper. Letter C, nuts and raisins. Letter D, tea and tea leaves. Again, which of the following mixture can be separated by hand picking? Which of the following mixture can be best separated by hand picking? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer is letter C. Very good. Nuts and raisins. Why nuts and raisins? Because they have different shape and size. Okay, very good. Next, let number 3. What is the technique that can be used to separate black beans from red beans? What is the technique you are going to use to separate black beans from red beans? So they have different color. So what are you going to use? Letter A, hand picking. Letter B, decantation. Letter C, filtration. And letter D, precipitation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is letter A. Very good. Hand picking because separate red beans and black beans by using your hand. All right. Number 4. Sifting is a technique used to separate blank of different sizes. So when we say sifting, sifting. Okay, what does sifting separates? Letter A, water. Letter B, gases. Letter C, liquids. Letter D, solids. Again, sifting is the technique used to separate blank of different sizes. So what does sifting separates? A, water. B, gases. C, liquids. D, solid. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sifting separates solid. Very good. Next, number 5. We can use blank to separate a mixture of sand and stone. We can use a blank to separate a mixture of sand and stone. Letter A, alum. Letter B, sieve. Letter C, magnet. Letter D, filter paper. Again, letter A, alum. Letter B, sieve or colander. Letter C, magnet. Letter D, filter paper. Separate mixture of sand and stones. What are you going to use? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Letter B. Okay, very good. And last, number 6. Magnetic attraction is used to separate a mixture of. Okay, again, when we say magnetic attraction, you are going to separate objects or substances that attracted and not attracted to magnet. So, letter A, oil and water. Letter B, wood chips and sand. Letter C, needles and buttons. Letter D, twigs and leaves. So, which of the following has magnetic attraction? Again, letter A, oil and water. Letter B, wood, chips and sand. Letter C, needles and buttons. Letter D, twigs and leaves. What is your answer? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer is letter C. Very good. Needles and buttons. Because needles are attracted to magnet. Alright. Good job. So 7, 8, 9, and 10, try to answer on your own. I hope you understand our lesson and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.